Hi, this is Kathy Quinn with Floriani. Floriani is a division of R&K Distributing, and we're here for the Progressive Classroom, October 2022, and we are going to look at Pashmina Passion. We're going to look at embroidering on Pashmina shawls. Winter's here, fall's here, winter's coming. It's a little cool. These are so convenient. They're very easy to fold up and put in a purse, keep in the car. They're elegant. You can make them as beautiful as you want. You can make them whimsical. Actually, Pashmina shawls can be stitched out for just about anybody, any woman anyway. And so we're going to look at the particulars of how to stitch on Pashmina. We had an email circulating around with questions on how to stitch on Pashmina, and I thought, you know what, this is a good time to definitely do a lesson because we're coming to the holidays. These are excellent gifts. They're inexpensive, but once you embroider these, they have such beautiful value. So let's talk a little bit about this. Pashmina shawls are very fine. They are woven. The problem is sometimes the weave shifts a little bit. So there is a couple of tricks to making sure you have beautiful designs on your Pashmina. Now the first thing is you have to select a design that is compatible with not only the weight but the weave of Pashmina, and that can be a little bit daunting. So let's kind of look through this and see what we can do. Now a lot of times when I'm looking for a design, I will go ahead and go into my Floriani Club. Of course, this is exclusive to our FTCU owners. As it comes up, my computer's running slow because I'm uploading a lot right now. And I am going to sign in. So let me sign in so I can get to everything. Now what I'm going to go for is I'm going to look in here and I'm going to look at our free designs. So I'm going to go to my Floriani Total Control and I want to look at my free monthly designs right here. Now in the free monthly designs, something I really appreciate is we have a beautiful PDF that lists everything since 2009. Let me go ahead and make this window a little bit bigger for us. Perhaps. Doesn't want to cooperate with me. Here we go. It's not being very cooperative. You know, it's reaching that perfect spot. You know what, I'm just going to do this. There we go. Okay, now I need to make sure, yes, I'm still here. Doggone it. Oh, there, I got something. There we go. There we are. That's much better. Let's get the, oh, okay, and let's close this. Tell you, we're having all kinds of fun, aren't we? Alrighty. Here is our free designs. Now, if I look, I can go all the way to today, or I can go all the way back to the beginning. Here we are in the beginning, and you can browse through the designs. Now I'm going to come down a little closer in time to where we are now, and you've gotten 5 designs free every single month since 2009. So I'm going to come through, and actually I'm going to start looking at some designs. Now these are designs these are Trevor designs, and I'm going to look at these roses. I think they would be beautiful on a shawl. I have a sage shawl, and I'm thinking these would look nice. Now this is going to tell me where they are, but you can continue to look. Any sketches stitch designs would do well. Anything that's sketched out, because you don't want a lot of heavy stitching. You want something that's a little bit lighter, that's not going to weigh down this shawl. And as you can see in a lot of ours, Trevor has some really fun sketches stitch designs that you could look at. I saw some that I really liked. I loved this sweater, but I was afraid it was going to be just a little bit too much. So I thought that would be kind of cute. But you can see we've got lots of sketched designs. in here, and sketches will work well, or designs that aren't real heavy stitches. So we're going to look through that. Now I'm going to go for that March. So I'm going to go to Library. I'm going to go to Floriani Free Designs, my Floriani Free Designs. And I'm going to go to March, and that was the year 2019. Now I'm going to come over and hover over my Designs tab and see even these. See, these are nice open designs. If you notice, they're done with an open stitch, not a lot of heavy underlay or anything. So I'm going to come on down. And there's those roses. I keep having trouble hanging on to this. Tell you, I've been at the computer too long today. There we go. Now I'm going to pull this in. And this is not too heavy. It's a 17,000 stitches, but we're talking about a 5x7 area, so that's not too much, I don't think. And they're not a lot of heavy satin stitching. It's just some pretty stitching on top of others. So I think this would work well for my Pashmina shawl. Of course, like I said, and you notice if I zoom in on this a little bit, we don't want to zoom in too much like we're way ahead, but I want you to notice, you see there's not a lot of heavy underlay or anything under here. It's a fairly open stitch, but it's closed enough to finish the design off. So of course my first thing I'm going to do with bringing this in is I'm going to go to File. Well, first of all, I take that back. What I would do is make sure, is this a good size? Well, it's a perfect size. This is like a 5x5, so that's going to be a good size. I like the way they're positioned, so I could put one, I could do them on opposite diagonal corners to make that shawl look very nice. So this is going to work. So first I'm going to check the size and make sure that's where it is. If it's not, I'm going to resize it. And of course, Floriani completely redigitizes the design and recalculates the stitches. Now I could say File, and one of my favorite features is Save to Sew. So of course we could also go to the Save to Sew category and look at what we have that might be kind of like Pashmina. I see that's not in my list. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to request that it's put in the list. And with that, the design would redigitize to what you're doing. But I'm going to go with something like, you know, Batiste would probably be close as far as the weight. Wouldn't fix the weave, but it would fix that. So I could say I didn't digitize this. I want Walter to look at it and change anything that needs to be done. Now this design does not have a lot of underlay, so I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to go to Next. Now at this point, Walter would be redigitizing it. Now I picked Batiste, so the instructions are going to not be correct for this fabric as far as how to do it. But I would get it redigitized with the type I have picked. So we're going to let that work. And like I say, I've got a lot of stuff going on right now on this computer, and she's taking her time. So we're just going to let her. I'm not going to mess with her because I don't want her to shut the whole program down. But she's been working hard today. And I'm pretty sure if I go to close her, she'll not do a thing for me. So there you go. That's what I was afraid of. We'll give her a second. If she doesn't, we'll close her. There we go. Thank goodness. Now, of course, she's going to tell me to put Dreamweave. I would not put Dreamweave on the back of my Pashmina because I need it to look good, if it's a scarf, looking both directions. I don't want the inside. So we're not going to follow these, but we would have let Walter redigitize it. I'm going to go back to where we were, and he had actually, if you look, he took out about 1,000 stitches, which would be fine for where we're going because it looks fine. Now I'm going to File, Print Preview, and I'm going to, yes, you all know me well, I am going to print out a template. Without a template, you can't get things necessarily hooped correctly, and you don't know how they look in the space provided. Templates are extremely important, especially in something like this, where I'm going to place it where it looks attractive with the fringe and everything on the shawl. And I'm going to put it on diagonal opposite ends of the Pashmina shawl. So I'm going to print this out so that I can then use this template on my shawl. So this is a pretty straightforward, simple software lesson. Just remember, you can look through your designs on our PDF files. You can look through to pick designs because you've got tons in there. You do not need to go out and find a new design. I guarantee you pretty much anything you really need is probably in there somewhere. The other thing is you can bring it in, look at your stitch count, look at how it is made, and notice this is not made for the outlines to match everything. It's more like a lot of the new art you'll see on clothing and stuff has that kind of offset outline, so it looks really good. So I'm happy with this, so I'm going to say File, Save As. Now I'm going to save as, and I'm going to go into my PC, and I'm going to go into my Dropbox. I know it's here. Let's see, where did Dropbox go? There it is. There's my Dropbox. I'm going to go into my Dropbox, and I'm going to go into my Pashmina. Let's see, where is Pashmina? There it is. Here's my Pashmina, and I'm going to go into my videos. Into my designs. Lost my mind. So I'm going to go into my designs, and I'm going to save this as roses. I'm going to save it in my format, and I'm going to save this into the design folder. Of course, you can use this design, or you can use any design that you find that is light enough. You can monogram it, but to monogram it, I wouldn't do heavy satin stitching. I would pick something like this, and I'm just going to pick something on the fly, not what you would necessarily pick. But I'm going to come in here. This is artwork. I'm going to come in here, and let's say I was going to put a S on it. Since this is artwork, I can now fill this however I want. And I might want to say, well, let's see what it would look like with a wave fill. So I've got a wave fill that's a little bit dense, so I might go up maybe to 2 millimeters in between the lines. Now I could cut off I go ahead and close my artwork down, and you can see that would be open enough to go nice on a Pashmina shawl. So you could bring in some kind of letter, some kind of monogram that was purely artwork based, and fill it with different types of stitches. Maybe I would try a ripple fill. Let's see how a ripple fill. Ooh, well, I don't like how it ripples, so I probably wouldn't use that. Well, I don't know. It's kind of cool, actually. Again, I've got a good density. And on a ripple fill, what you have that's cool is I can come in here with this, and you see the big fat blue dot? I can change where it ripples from. So I could say ripple from this corner. That's pretty cool. That is a cool looking design. So see, you could work around and play with some stuff and do some really fun designs to put on this that wouldn't have a lot of heavy stitching. You could bring up an artwork flower, fill the petals with ripple. So you've got a lot of options here to not put a super heavy design on your Pashmina shawl. So I hope this gives you a little bit of an idea of the type of things you can stitch on. And this goes true for a lot of, Irish linen. It's again very thin. You don't want to put heavy stitches on it. So you think of the fabrics that can go with designs, and you need to make sure you really think about the design that is going to best afford the look. Once you get it on there, you don't want it hanging or weighing down that shawl or making your design wavy because you've got too many stitches to be supported. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next month.